You ready to do this?
Part of me is a little nervous.
In this video, we are going over a year's worth of income and expenses. How much did this millennial couple make, and how much did we spend and save? I think. We'll find out. Hey guys, it's Justine, and this is my husband Kyle.
Hey.
And welcome to the Debt-Free Millennials channel. This is the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. And part of this channel is we do a series on beers and budgeting, and at the end of the year, we look back and see exactly how much we've made, spent, saved, kind of just do a reflection of our finances in a year's span, and then make a plan to move forward.
Yeah.
And it's been a while.
I wonder why.
We meant to do this video.
We did do this video.
We did this video a while ago, and somebody accidentally deleted the video file.
It wasn't me.
Do you still love me? I felt terrible.
It's okay. It's a good reason to drink more with my wife.
Are we drinking?
Yes, kind of. Not a beer, though.
Why aren't we drinking beer?
Because we are doing keto.
We're still on keto, folks.
Yeah. So today's choice is just a vodka LaCroix.
How do we tell the kids that this is not water?
Well, it's got vodka in it, so it's not water. That's how you tell them.
Okay.
I don't know. It's vodka
Trust.
LaCroix.
Ooh, yeah. Trust us, guys.
It's tasty.
That has vodka in it.
But we get a little more dressed up for these. It's kind of a big event. Like, you should take your finances serious. And it's a serious day, a serious meeting, so you dress up serious for serious stuff.
You are looking very nice.
Thank you.
I very much like this ensemble. Your hair and your beard is on point. I mean, you just look... good.
Anyways. Thanks, love.
And how do I look?
I already told her a bunch she looked good. So,
You can always tell me again and again.
all right, you look good.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, let's do it. Let's go over it. Let's rip this off like a Band-Aid. It's going to hurt when I look at the rent. So the way I like to look at this is based on a percentage. How much money did we spend on, or what percentage did we spend on rent? What percentage did we spend on food and groceries and all those other categories? So,
Okay. The monthly and yearly income, together we brought home $107,187.22. So we averaged about $8,900 in take home every single month.
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, I don't know.
That's a relative term. It depends on your cost of living, right?
Yeah, and cost of living out here is pretty high. So we had $78,000 in monthly expenses, which is insane. That does include our savings, though, and I didn't break that out.
Okay, so that's not what it was required of us to live on.
No. And I think we both agreed that for next year, and even now in our beers and budgeting, we have started to break out the money that we're setting aside for savings and monthly expenses.
Yeah.
So savings were roughly about $3,000 a month.
Okay, so that number is more realistically $3,500 in monthly expenses.
I would say so.
Roughly.
Roughly.
Okay. That's, knowing that our rent was $2,700 and some dollars, it's really not that bad. I'm kind of happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hip, cheerio. All right.
So we netted about $29,000, and then that net isn't just sitting in our checking account, just, whatever. It's actually in different savings accounts and different retirement accounts that we allocate. Or sometimes we'll take that net and put it towards a vacation fund in which that money does get spent. So let's go through the buckets here. So the first bucket is fixed. Our fixed expenses that we know, very predictable, pretty much the same every single month. Our rent. We spent $33,000 on rent last year alone. It was 31% of our total annual budget.
That makes me mad. Like, over the 4 years we've lived here, that's $120,000 plus we've given to somebody else. That's a lot of money. Like, what could we do if that had gone into our own house? But at the same time, if we bought a house out here, I'd have an hour commute one way, maybe longer, in order to afford something in this town. But
yeah, plus the maintenance expenses that goes with owning a house, property taxes, insurance.
You don't get the deductible on your return, your annual return, like you used to in the past. But looking at it on a percentage basis, like, I'm really okay with it. I like to do things in thirds. It's like 1/3 towards rent or mortgage, 1/3 towards savings, and savings retirement, and 1/3 towards the rest of living.
Yeah.
Vacations and food and water and power bills and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I think it. It's the simplest way to break it down.
That makes sense.
So this one's on track.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense because the rest of our fixed items, cell phone, internet, even groceries, was pretty low at 5% of our annual budget. Everything else is under 1% except for cell phone and electricity. And those were at 1%. So I think we did really well in the fixed category, knowing that we have a higher rent living in San Diego. The reason the rent is such a weird number is our rent has increased throughout 2019. And so I just took the average of what we spent. Also, one thing to note on the oil changes and repairs, we have just one car because I work from home and Kyle uses the Subaru as the daily driver. We ended up spending close to $2,400 on just maintenance for it. So I put here eyesight replacement, oil changes. Note to self, also have to make the next oil change appointment. Air filter, brake pads, that stuff is pretty normal. So I think we did a really good job at just keeping on top of the maintenance for the Forester.
Yep.
Okay, let's go down to fun. Fun! Restaurants, shopping, clothing, haircuts, gifts. Fun money. Fun money.
Oh. 2% on restaurants.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It seems like it would be a lot higher than just $2,500, $2,300, or $2,600. See, I told you this was vodka.
She said one drink, folks.
One sip. Look how full it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
$2,600 in 1 year eating out. That's just money gone, spent on food. Some stuff we loved, some stuff we were like, I'm hangry, and stuff we just hated. Couldn't tell you. Isn't that crazy?
Yep, it is crazy, babe. Gifts, $1,400 on gifts. That's kind of high.
Really?
Yeah, these people don't need gifts. No, that's fine.
Now the fun money too. Like, I think you can tell that all of these items where we're not really. If you add up all these percentages here, what is this? 4, 6, 7, 8.
So you're looking at 10% at most.
At most, 10% on fun money out of our entire budget. I think we do a really good job of doing fun and free things, especially when you live in a bigger city. It just makes sense.
Okay, so but here's here's the other side of that. So if you add all that up, that's 10%. And then you throw the vacation fund on that, that's 16%. Right? So now we're at 26%. Now we're approaching that 1/3 of life number that I was talking about earlier.
That is true. That is true. I didn't get down to the vacation fund part yet, so wow. That number blows my mind.
Yeah, $17,000 in 1 year on vacation just seems.
If you told
Right.
me that, if you told past Justine, hey, future Justine is gonna spend nearly $20,000 in vacations in 1 year, I'd be like, what? Where did I go?
Yeah. You could
That's insane.
you buy a used car, a nice used car for that.
I mean, that basically was my take home the first year that I worked at the ad agency.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
that's nuts. So where all did we go?
Well, Europe was the big one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here, it's kind of blowing my mind all over again. I know I'm the one who put this together, but it's been a while since I put it together. We went on 20 trips. So Vegas, some of these are really notable. Vegas, Hawaii, DC, Europe being a huge one where we did 4 different countries. Actually have a whole video on our European vacation. I'll link to that below, so be sure to check it out. Well, we paid for Cancun. We
didn't go.
haven't gone yet. We are going in 2020. But we did pay for Cancun in 2019. So it's just, wow. When I think, like, even Chicago, your brother catching the home run ball.
That was cool. That was really cool.
His brother caught the home run ball by Nick Castellanos, who recently got traded, I found out, but was playing for the Cubs, and we were out in the bleacher seats. Mind you, this is my first time in Wrigley Field with his entire family, his stepmom celebrating her 60th birthday, and we're like, what? And then there's the ball right there. And of course, me, I'm like, ball! And his brother is just like, dink, catches it barehanded. We all went nuts.
Even the ESPN announcer was like, good catch by the Cubs fan. It was cool.
It was so cool. So even just thinking about all those memories we made just in Chicago, let alone all the other places that we went to last year, is really cool.
Yeah. I really don't care that we spent that much money. That's how I want to live life, and that's how we want to live life. That's how we've agreed to do all this. And we actually did this pretty cheaply. If you break it down to like cost per trip, we, including Europe for 17 days. We went all the way to Hawaii, like all those other in-between trips. Like, we did this pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty cheap.
less than $1,000 per trip, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when you think about people who are trying to do the whole financial independence, the FIRE movement, I mean, I don't think they're spending that kind of money on vacations while they're trying to obtain financial independence.
No, they're not spending anything on that fund. If anything, it's gas money to go to the local park or the closest national park, right?
Yeah. Which is there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
We've
I love
done
the
that.
national parks. They're awesome.
They're so fun.
They're much more budget friendly than Europe. So that's all I'm comparing here.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, we've had conversations about there's a balance between achieving financial independence. We both agree that maxing out our retirement accounts is definitely the goal. I mean, you've already done that with your employer sponsored plan. So, but at the same time,
we want to retire someday.
No. At the same time,
what?
You said we have to enjoy the here and now.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like the future,
direction.
Saving money for the future, and then also spending money now because like my aunt was saying last weekend, you never know when your ticket is up.
Well, that's the thing is like I would love to do fire, but I don't want to eat rice and beans for the next 20 years and then find out you're 21 that you got to have both your legs amputated or some dumb thing like that, you know? Like I want to do a little bit of it as we go along, and I also want to plan for retirement. I don't want to wait all the way to the end. I mean,
Yeah. There are plenty of people who don't do the rice and beans mentality when it comes to fire. Anyway, I just realized that the battery is blinking red, so we should wrap this puppy up.
I don't think we have. Let's pause it.
Okay, we're pausing. I touched it. Okay,
Well, it's now dark outside. It's now been an hour later. We learned a lot during the break. Welcome back, folks.
And by we, I mean I did not format some stuff in our spreadsheet, so we've got what we think is not perfect, but pretty close to. So should we go back to...
You want to blow this up?
Yeah, this is blown up.
Oh.
There.
Oh. Yeah, see, oh man, it's so much better.
Okay, so basically what we did is we had to reinforce, double, triple check that the percentages were correct. There were some things that were missing. We added that back in, and then we also added in your
retirement contributions that were not included in anywhere in any of our spreadsheets so far.
Okay, so now this does include.
Yes, you can delete the asterisk now. So we went back, we looked at my pay stub and figured out how much I contributed last year to retirement based off of the automatic withdrawals from my paycheck. And that turned that 1% into 15%, which, you know, brings my blood pressure down quite a bit. But I understand why Jay had it the way she did. So here we are. And then we added a pie chart to make things more clear and see kind of how things are distributed. And I'm much more happy now.
And that 1% towards retirement was just factoring in what we were putting towards retirement after take home.
Yep.
Not before take home.
Yep, exactly.
Now it includes before take home and after take home.
Yep.
15%.
And 15% is not a bad number. Like, that's a great target for us. And we already know that we made adjustments late, like in Q4 of last year. So we know that that number is going to be higher next time we do this in 2020 year-end review.
Yes. It's already at 20%, so...
Yeah. I mean, the biggest portion of that pie chart, though, is still rent. Like...
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the pie chart.
Okay, so when I talk about a third, like maybe we should make another pie chart that has like retirement and savings is 1/3, rent or mortgage is 1/3, and everything else is 1/3. So it's broken down to the thirds I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But, you know, vacation is a pretty big part of that. Future, which includes a house and all that stuff. I think, you know, that's pretty good. The fixed income, like, or the fixed expenses, you know, only being 12%, like, I'll take that all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That is great.
Well, that's the fixed plus the rent. I mean, the fixed expenses.
Yeah.
But I see you're rolling that into like
groceries and all that stuff. I think that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But we learned a lot about our budget and our spreadsheet and how we were going to do it for next year. So it's things will be clearer and less work for us at the end of the year. It was kind of fun. It kind of brought me back to like the library in college, like having a study buddy. Like, what's wrong with this? Why isn't this working? What error is this? Re-add this up. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
We were going back and forth like, no, you...
Yeah. No, you hit it this way. Our ice is now melted in our drinks.
Oh, yeah, it really is. It really is. I still think we could do better towards our retirement savings. That really does. I know you say 15%, pretty good. But I really want it to be like 30%.
Yeah, so do I.
But baby steps. You know, me being in my, I guess, third year. This is my third year of running Debt Free Millennials, and I just became profitable last year.
Yeah.
Literally a year ago, I became profitable and broke even and started making money that I got to keep. It's like, okay, now I can start paying myself a regular salary, and now we can take some of these extra savings and put it towards retirement. I think that kind of contributed to why our retirement contributions were not as high as I would like them to be. But still, yes, given the scenario.
Yeah, well, we talked about that when you first started DFM. Is like, well, we're gonna have to cut back on areas, and like one of the areas we cut back on so we could get started was retirement. Like we didn't max out the retirement contribution. We didn't go on as many vacations or whatnot.
Oh, we went on vacations. Boy, we went on vacations.
No, I'm talking 2 years ago.
Oh.
The very beginning, not this past year.
Yeah.
So like we sacrificed in the beginning, but now that you're bringing in income.
Yeah. And now I feel like we have a more concrete plan with how we want to contribute towards retirement, such as number one, to stop all additional outside retirement contributions and let's focus solely on contributing to your employer plan first.
Yep.
Because his has the best expense ratio. You're getting the employer match.
I get like 5% match. So
You get a 5% match plus what you're contributing. So that was rule number one, max out yours. Check for 2020. Now it's like, okay, let's work on the next step. HSA.
Yeah. Which we're doing. $123 a paycheck.
The next step would be, let's go back to Roth IRA.
That's, yeah.
Max that out.
Yeah.
So there are steps that we're taking. And I think when we zeroed in and just said, ignore the rest and really focus in on that particular account, I think that helped us a lot. Now we're making more headway faster.
Okay.
How do you feel about all this?
I feel better than I thought I would. I'm still disappointed in rent, but I don't know what else to do about it. That's it. We've always had. I feel like that was the theme throughout every video. Is like, no, rent's high. Got a lot of rent. Can't afford a house that's in the neighborhood we want. That's a theme throughout the whole Fears and Budgeting series. How are you feeling about it?
Other than the retirement stuff, I think we've done a good job at spreading out our income into these different expense categories. I am so thankful that we did all of the vacations that we did.
So what was your favorite part of 2019?
Probably Europe. And becoming
more detail, please.
And becoming profitable.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite part of 2019 business-wise, becoming profitable, hands down. That is such a relief. You're like, oh, thank God, this dollar is actually going to stay with me and not,
pay a bill.
Pay a bill or just breaking even is what I was trying to do. That was the coolest part. Coolest part of travel-wise, hands down, was Europe. And seeing Paris for the first time. We got to do that together. I'm so thankful for that. Just walking around and drinking French wine and having, all of the bread and speaking French.
That was my favorite part of the year. Was we show up in France, in Paris. She's like, I minored in French. And I'm like, okay. Like, I took 6 years of Spanish and I can't say hola very well. So we land and she calls the Uber because we can't find the Uber at the airport. Just starts spouting out this like fluent French, and I'm just sitting there like blown away, like holy cow. That was and then we did that everywhere. She's ordering food and talking to the concierge and everybody. I was blown away by it. That was my favorite part of the whole year.
They were, it wasn't fluent, but they were very nice about it. And yes, we were definitely speaking in French. It was really fun.
Yep.
That was my favorite. What's your favorite part?
I just said you speaking,
Watching me?
Yeah, watching you speak French in Paris.
So beautiful.
It's true.
Beautiful speaking French.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
That's 2019 in a nutshell. Shall we drain these vodkas?
Yeah, they're a little watery, a little uncarbonated now.
Let us know what you think of our spending and our income. I am going to be open and vulnerable about that with you.
If you do that, though, tell us what your favorite part of your 2019 was. I'm always like hearing good stories.
Yeah. Reflect back. It's always important to do that so that you know how to take steps forward in your finances.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you next year.